Hello, this is Matt O'Leary, and this is my second video on this channel. Today I'll be reviewing Pond's Man, It Feels Like Space Again. This is their 6th full-length LP, released in the past 7 years, so in a relatively short history they've been very prolific in their full-length releases. This band comes in a wave of Neo-psychedelia groups from Western Australia, including Temples and Wolfmother. Wolfmother, such a soft place in my heart. And the much more popular Tame Impala. Now, Tame Impala was the group that actually got me back into this psychedelic rock sound. They actually have a close connection with the band because most of the members from Pond transfer seamlessly back into the Tame Impala group. So it almost seems like this is a side project, although I don't think Pond would like to be labeled that way. Tame Impala overall feels like a more directed group artistically. They have a vision set forward by their lead man Kevin Parker, who actually helped produce this album. And Pond seem more like a strictly revivalist band of that vintage 60s psychedelic sound. Although I haven't listened to their first 2 albums, I have listened to Beard, Wives, and Denim, and also Hobo Rocket. They seem to be a band with a lot of ideas but no cohesiveness. They're really just trying to catch lightning in a bottle. Nick Albrook, I've never really been a fan of him and his vocal style. He's got a very weak tone, and I'm such a big vocal guy that has always bothered me a little bit. They've changed the formula a bit with this one. It's a lot more pop oriented, and the song structures are very formulaic in comparison with the old song structures. A maelstrom of just bizarre interludes. They've kind of come into their own identity a bit with this album. It seems like they're trying really hard to be carefree and say, look guys, we're just having fun. What allows me to be critical about this album is that I know that they spent a long time on these songs because most of these songs, I think all these songs were written before the songs on Hobo Rocket. So we'll get on with some of the tracks on this album now. The first one really jumped at me, Waiting Round for Grace. The beginning of this first track has just this sentimental twinkling lullaby, and it sounds a lot like something from this band's latest release, B-Room. And then the song blasts into this really exciting jam. Lush synths and dreamscape guitars with a bunch of effects like reverb and delay and phasers, all these things that psychedelic rock groups rely on. There's a little solo, I believe, synth solo in there, and it sounds exactly like stuff off Lonerism. It's really the perfect opener for me. It really sounds Flaming Lips inspired, some Brian Eno in there. The next one is the first single they released, Elvis's Flaming Star. This is actually one of my least favorite songs from the album. It sounds a lot like the song Footloose. Although it is dancey and funky, and it kind of hints at this being a tighter album. And the vocals come in and they're very unimaginative. The melodies don't seem to be distinct from the instrumental parts. They don't really give their own melodic flavor to the song. The next song is Holding Out For You, which is a top track for me on the record. This is just a gorgeous soundscape. I love the guitar. It's really just honey on the ears. Now this song, unlike most of their others, has a very clear lyrical vision. It is a love song. However, the meaning is somewhat obscured by a very tepid delivery on the part of Albrook. Especially lines like, sorry if I caused you any pain. He just kind of limps and kind of just softly like, oh. He's not really declaring anything. You don't want a band to preach at you, but you want to be somewhat enlightened by the lyrics. The gorgeous instrumentals in this track really just hold it together for me. All the layering of octaves on the instruments give it a very stadium-like feel. The chorus in the song is just the beginning for me of a bunch of euphoric moments on this album. Chill-inducing, yes moments. But again, this song is a conglomeration of their influences for sure. Pond Zond. Zond is a track that has a lot of pop sensibility without losing the intricacies. The vocal effects really aid Albrook's lackluster vocal performance. And this is one song that's really fun but doesn't feel overindulgent. Every time I listen to Zond, I feel like I hear something different. There's the stuttery vocal part. I just love that. I feel like this is the only song that has effects that are harder to wrap my head around. I think the fade outs on this album are hilarious. There are a lot of them, and some of them are really inappropriate. They stick to this formula of sort of going through verse, chorus, whatever, and then they break into this massive jam, a lot of slow, just anthemic guitar parts or synth parts. It leads to a lot of fade outs, and it works here, I think, but in some cases it's like they just can't come up with a more clever way to end a song. Oh, track 5. Where to begin? Well, this is the worst song on the album, no doubt. And, well, I'll just say it. Heroic! Shart. Oh, Shart. Yes, they've said Shart. So this song does not live up to the tremendously hilarious name. The distortion and production become irritating. I also found out that this song was written by Albrook sitting up on a crane. A brilliant track, I think. It didn't really click right away, but upon a couple listens and then watching the awesome video game-esque video, a lot of glittery, ethereal vocals. I love the snare sound on this song. And I love how slow it is, especially the chorus and all the jams. All I wanna do is get drunk and listen to Dennis Wilson. That's why this song probably sounds a lot like the Beach Boys. That lyric is just silly, man. The outside is the right side. You can't leave this album without singing that part. There's something to that though, starting a song with just a really memorable vocal melody. The song totally loses momentum in the key change. This is a key change that I don't appreciate. Usually I do because I think it's very musical, but this one, I don't know, it just doesn't aid the song at all. It takes the emotional level down a notch. Good progressions are just taken and drilled home a little bit too long. This band is not a Wilco. They're not going to take something that sounds good and just give it to you once. They're going to give it to you 100 times. Now, the band ends this album, I can't believe this is only 9 songs, with the title track, Man, It Feels Like Space Again, and this is a cliche of what rock bands seem to do and seem to be in love with, which is ending an album with a really introspective, long, progressive odyssey. However, this song flows well, and it is another top track for me on the album. I love the lyric, it took him all his life to know. I think this is a good album. I think it's good music, good pop songs. I don't think this is artistically reinventing the wheel at all. This album maintains the kaleidoscope feel that psychedelic music has, that just puts you into a trance without losing the accessibility. I think there's just an assuredness about the song structure here, and also just a confidence that I really enjoy. And that's why I have to give the album a 7 out of 10. So please share with me what you think I can do better on these album reviews, and also what you think about the album, what you think about Ponds, and if you have any suggestions for albums that I could review next, let me know. Thank you. If you really like this album and the sound, I urge you to get into more experimental psychedelic music like Animal Collective, Of Montreal, Black Moss Super Rainbow, Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and also MGMT and Foxygen, The Essex Green, Crystal Antlers. Don't it make you wonder how God found the time? Dun, 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 dun.